Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of English of NIOS Senior Secondary Content. Today we will be covering the portion of Lesson 4, Father, Dear Father, from the section 2. Okay, and the Intext portion also we will be seeing. Before that, I would like you to subscribe to the channel, put a thumbs up and share it with your friends so that they can also use the content. And you will get content on computer science of senior secondary and NIOS, as well as you will get content of maths here. Okay, let's jump into the topic. So the topic is about writing letter to the father by a son who got his rank second, and he is explaining what are the things and reasons why it happened and what he thinks about all this chaos. So which is more important, wisdom or knowledge? What should our education do for us? Let us read on and find out what the writer thinks. So two terms are given here, wisdom and knowledge. So how they are going to be important in one's life and what are their meanings? Let's check. Wisdom means the quality of having the experience and the good judgment that you can do with your knowledge. Knowledge is some information and skills that you have by learning or living a kind of life. So which is more important for a human being? That's what being asked by the son, or he tries to find the answer to this question. And before jumping into the section 2, let's see some of the vocabulary words that we have to use here and find out their meanings. First one is pest. Pest is a destructive insect or other animal that attacks crops, food or livestock. Okay, pest, usually very tiny things, but they just destroy every crops and everything, so we have to be very careful with those. Prattles, it is talk at length in a foolish or inconsequential way. Foolish talk. Next come hibiscus. It is a flower of red color, usually you can see plant of the mallow family, grown in warm climates for its light brightly colored leaves or for products such as fiber or timber. Essence is the extract of, usually extract of a plant, and how it is used in the chapter we'll see. Quarter, it is 4 sections are there. In that, one portion is known as a quarter, each of the 4 equal or corresponding parts into which something is or can be divided. Adamant is to refuse to be persuaded or someone whose mind you cannot change. Okay, stake, it is a strong wooden or metal post with a point at one end driven to the ground to support a plant, form part of a fence or make a boundary. Next is anguish, severe mental or physical pain or suffering. Arteries, any of the muscular walled tubes forming part of the circulation system through which blood flows through. Arteries and veins, you might have heard of those words. Let's see section 2. Okay, the lecture continues in this way, and it is written by a boy called Rahul to his father. He's a young boy, and what he says, let's see in the chapter. Oh Papa, last week my rose plants almost died. Some pests. I asked my biology teacher what I should do to save it, and she was cross. She said, go ask the guy who keeps gardening things. He will tell you. We learn about pesticides, but we do not know how to use them. Oh Father, it matters not to me why the apple does not fall upward, or nor do I care what Archimedes did. What matters to me is that my rose plants remain healthy. When there is a fuse in my house, I should know how to do something about it. I should know how to make a desk for myself from my carpenter's tool. Instead, I learn about hypotenuse, relational square roots. So first paragraph is done. In this one, the boy is asking about the life skill that we have to deal daily to his father, and he is giving the examples of simple things. So he first complains to his father that he asked to his biology teacher what should he do if his rose plants are not well or healthy. So the teacher didn't like that, and she told him to go and ask to the gardening person who do all these things. So she so he thinks that she doesn't have the knowledge of pesticides, and she's um, telling this to telling him to find a solution from somebody else. So what is the need of that type of education? He is having a kind of thinking in his mind, and he says to his father also that he's not worried about the theories that we learn in our chapters of science, that is what Archimedes principle is there, and Newton's law is there. He's not worried about all those things. Okay, about gravity. He doesn't want to learn all those things. He just want to know how to keep the simple things simple, and how he can keep his plants healthy. He has to have the knowledge of those, and how to fix the fuse in his house, and how to do if how to make a desk out of the wood by learning the carpentry skill. So he wants to learn something practical instead of learning everything theory purpose in the textbooks. That's what he meant to say to his father. So let's go to next paragraph. Papa, once I asked my grandmother how she got to be so wise. Do you know what she said? By living and experiencing. And she laughed as though I had asked something which was so obvious. Are we living, Papa? Or is life bypassing us? What I fear is that if I were to meet Newton face to face, I would fail to recognize him. So busy I am. Am I learning about him? Just like that boy we know in that award winning film, he prattles on. The hibiscus is red 100 times, but in his book he colors it yellow. Are we missing out the essence of our life? So a very innocent boy asked to his father about all those things, and it's very nice to read how he thinks about life. And he says that he once asked to his grandmother about how she how she knows how to find out solutions for the problems and how she's so wise. So she told that she has seen life and she has experience of those. That's her answer. And so he asked to his father that are we really living our life, or just life is passing by and we are just with it, with the flow? Is that happening to us? So he says an example like if he sees Newton, he would be failing to recognize him because he's very busy reading about him, but he doesn't know who he is. So that's what he says to his father. And also he's saying about any boy who wins an award, he says hibiscus is a red color, but though he says it's red color, he does the opposite of that in his book. So does that matter? Is that a thing to be taken into? So he is asking why we need this much difficulty in our life. Can we make it simple? And are we really enjoying our life? That's what he want to ask to his father. And he asked to him that are we missing the essence of life? That means the enjoyment or the freedom or the peace that he's not having, or he's not able to do anything practically to lead his life. That's what he says to his father. Next paragraph. Anyway, Papa, do you know where I lost that quarter mark that brought about my fall? It was a filling the blanks. I held that I was invited to tea, and my teacher was adamant that he was invited for tea. A matter of grammar. And Papa, if he says George Bush is the president of India, it will have to be so. If he says the sun rises in the west, so be it. And if he says the earth is flat, it will be. It will be, my Papa. At least On my answer paper, my first rank is at stake, you see. Still, my dearest Papa, I shall keep your advice in mind and try not to lose any quarter marks. As always, yours ever obedient son Rahul. So, in the last paragraph, the kid or the child says to his father where he has lost his marks. He says that he had a grammar, he had to fill a grammar where the teacher says it is invited for tea and he said it is invited to tea. So because of this grammar, teacher thinks this is right. He has lost his marks, and the teacher, if she says or he says George Bush is the president of India, which is not right. And if he says sun rises in the west, which is not right. And if he says the earth is flat, which is not right, they have to listen to them, and then their rank will go to the second rank, or they will get less marks. So is it that because of the teacher also we will be getting less marks, and all I not to lose this quarter marks because of any of this reason? Actually, the child is asking a meaningful question, because since the content is right, teacher says this is the right answer, so the kid has, child has, or the student has to listen to it, and then he will get the full mark. So that's what he writes a letter to his father and shares his feeling to his father in this manner. Your eyes will not see this anguish plea. That means the pain he had, mental or physical pain he has, he's telling to his father. This was only to lighten my overburdened heart. So he had so much of tension in his heart, or he had so much of, the heart was full. So he wanted to just pour it out to his father. So that's what he want to say. It is not all arteries and muscles, it feeds too. So he want to say that he has emotional feelings too, that that gets hurt sometimes. Just telling to his father. So this is an article from the Hindu. So by this, the second section is done. Well, we have seen how the boy writes a letter to his father and tells him about losing his marks and the essence of life, and what he has, what what a kind of life they are leading. Is it purposeful? All those things he's saying, and a very good letter from a small boy to his father. Let's see the Intext question 4.2. What does the writer think is wrong with his education? What would he really like to learn about? The writer, the young boy, think that the education given is not used in daily life. He likes to do simple things rather than learning complicated topics which are not used in day-to-day life. Second question, wisdom comes as a result of studying hard, living a full life, or both? Three options are there. What does the writer think? So the writer think that the young boy thinks that it is living a full life instead of studying hard. Third question, by how many marks did he lose his first position? He lost his first position by quarter marks, 3 by 4 marks. Why did he lose the mark? He lost the marks because the teacher was adamant about the grammar that this boy has written. Who was right, the teacher or the student? The student is right in case of this grammar. By this, Intext question 4.2 is done, and hope you understood the chapter.